Okay, so this is week 3 project discussion. My name is Kenneth Stoddard, and we're going to start off by answering week 3's project discussion questions. First question is, what went well? And I have here in the slide nothing, but that's not entirely true. I did have a very difficult time getting my application to communicate. Here on the left, you notice that there are 3 large CTAs, or you could say context: work, personal, and other. When one of these contexts are selected, if you'll notice, it pre-populates the form field of whatever the context was that was selected. I had a very difficult time getting the application to do that. Let me go ahead and show you in the code. Basically, up here what we have is we have an on-click event, which basically listens for a click to take place, and when it does, it's going to fire one of these 3 functions. So if the work context is clicked, it fires this function. If the personal context is clicked, it fires the set personal context, and so forth. When this function is fired, it's going to set the case. And so if the context is work, it's going to set the attribute down here to selected. And so anyway, this is basically what gave me a hard time. I spent hours upon hours trying to figure this out, and I did finally get that figured out. So basically that's what gave me trouble. What went not so well, getting my application to communicate. Just covered that. Okay, so how does this relate to previous work? Well, I have a statement here. It worked, but now you can actually use it. So up until this point, the application was functional, but it was not real usable. And so again, how does this relate to what we did previously? We've basically made it look pretty and usable. So that's been good. How does this relate to future work? Well, for me, it's helped develop a framework. I have something to work with now, basically as we go forward. To give you an example, in regards to a framework, I have an idea of how to organize content, how to support the user behavior. A couple examples of that would be an intuitive navigation through the use of signposts such as feature, search, and browse. You see that over here on the right. You have up in the top, you have the featured content, or the CTAs. Down here in the middle, you have the search capabilities for those who just want to perform a quick search. And then you have the, for those who would rather just browse, you have down below the option to actually browse. If you notice here, when you select work, you can see that there are several options for them to browse through. Here's a submission that you could browse through. So that's the feature, search, and browse. Also in my application, and I'm getting ahead of myself here in regards to implementation, justification, but there are clear entry points. If you notice, again, up in the top, the featured content is very clear, very easy to access, but also providing escape hatches. So if you get into the application, for instance, if we select work, there's this home button on the top, so they can very quickly and easily escape or get back to where they want to get to. I made mention here of breadcrumbs, which my application doesn't make use of, but it's something that supports the idea of navigation and quickly getting back to where you started. Also, again now, back to implementation, justification. The two that I would have to say that I used would be the center stage principle of basically setting the content that's most pertinent right there in the center. And so when a user accesses the application, what they need to do is front and center. Right along with that is the idea of clear entry points. With my application, there's really nothing that's unclear. With just one glance, you really know what you want to do. So those are the two principles that I've followed in regards to this application. And so basically, that's this week 3's project. I appreciate it, and you have a good day.